Welcome to the show. I'm Kathy Ireland. Fighting addiction can be difficult and scary without the proper treatment, and choosing the right facility can make all the difference. Fortunately, there's one company that is redefining addiction and reinventing recovery. Today, we're joined by CEO Angie Manson and President and Chairman Dan Manson of Elevate Addiction Services to discuss their successful, unique approach and treatments to heal and enhance the mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Now, Dan, what do you mean by redefining addiction and reinventing recovery?
Well, there's a lot of rehabs out there, Kathy, but the way we treat people is very different. In most traditional treatment programs, you have to accept this label that you are an addict, you have this lifelong disease of addiction, and you have it forever. And you have to surrender to that, and you have to admit it to yourself and to everybody else that you're a lifelong addict. And we don't really believe that that is conducive to treatment. We believe that you should empower the individual and that we need to show them what went wrong and then give them their power back so that they can tackle addiction as an issue and overcome that, and they don't have to be a slave to it forever, and then they can use that same philosophy to tackle all of their problems in life.
Great. And Angie, could you tell us a bit about Elevate Addiction Services and how it's different from other programs?
Well, we have a few key components, one of which is mindfulness, which they start doing from the moment they come into the program and practice throughout the program, which is an amazing, useful tool that they can use anywhere and in any situation. The other key component is we offer a medical detox, but it ends there. A lot of the other programs, let's say you come in on alcohol or heroin, that's your presenting drug of choice. You're put on 5 to 8 different medications, and you stay on that the duration of the program and after you leave, but now you're still considered sober even though you're highly medicated just because you aren't using the drug that you came in on. That's totally different than our philosophy. We don't even allow them to enter the main community until they're off all medications. So, and it's amazing how quickly they will come down from it because they want to start their treatment. They don't try to milk it, and they really are excited to start their recovery. So within 7 to 10 days, they're safely withdrawn from whatever substances they're on, and they're able to go join everybody in the program and really start their recovery with a clear head. And then that gives them a long runway of sobriety before they even leave, and comfortableness with being sober and what comes with that, so that they can go confront life and have a very strong foundation. And another key component of that is fitness, because we realize when you come off these stuff that you've been on for a very long time, you're not feeling well and you're not doing well. Traditional treatment has you sitting in dark rooms, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes. Exercise is an option. But for us, exercise is a cornerstone of the program. By putting fitness in as a cornerstone, they start to feel better quicker. We're sleeping better. We want to eat healthier. We don't put on 30 pounds of unhealthy weight because we decided to get sober. It's actually good weight and healthy weight and building muscle, which builds confidence and it builds self-esteem and all the things that go with when you work out.
Awesome. I love your approach. That's incredible.
The challenge was, for the last 23 years, I've been on medications and have been kind of sheltering all these emotions. And through the tools that I learned here at Elevate, I was able to combat those emotions without the use of medication, of substances, of alcohol. And this probably was the best decision that I've ever made.
It doesn't matter what job you had before you came in. It doesn't matter the crimes that you committed before you came in. People come here to get better. And those facades, those street ethics, those, they all fall down. The walls come down. And what's left is just this raw person in their true and honest state of who they are. And we get to build on that. And the best thing is we went through this also. And so when a client comes up and, whether they're angry, they're in tears, which happens daily. And it's a good thing. We encourage that. Yes, experience these emotions. Don't suppress them. That's what got us in trouble in the first place. We can tell clients that it's gonna be okay because we experienced it. We detoxed in that cabin. We went through those emotions. We walked up those steps for the first time. We were scared too. We had our doubts too. That's not going to get you anywhere. And we realize that here, and it's contagious. It's such a pure experience.
Once we found Elevate and we seen the success with Seth, and Levi, failed at the other facility, I called Seth and I said, Seth, can your brother go there? And I think Seth was a little leery of, hey, this is my space. I don't want Levi here. I don't know. I'm afraid because they were together, using together, and maybe we may not be good for each other. And I said, I understand, totally understand. So Seth thought about it and he says, hey, Dad, bring him in. And so I didn't really bring him in. Seth went and got him. And boy, it was the best decision for both of them. And it was a success for Seth, it was a success for Levi, and it was a success for me and my wife. It was a success for the whole family. And I can tell anybody, try it out. Don't give up.
I remember how it felt coming in and that feeling I had of just being totally empty. And through the help that I received from this program, I was able to redefine myself as someone totally new.
Me personally, and a lot of other facilities, the relationship between mental health and physical health is often overlooked. So to have some sort of exercise or healthy eating incorporated in the program here at Elevate really made a big difference for both me and my brother.
Something about CrossFit that's super cool is just the level of grit that it takes. You're doing this tough workout and you start getting that negative voice, but you learn how to work through it. You learn how to deal with it. And I think that is such a cool thing that not a lot of people talk about, is just, building that mental toughness and how that translates to dealing with, their cravings or dealing with just difficulties in life.
I looked at myself as a victim. I looked at myself as life was happening to me, and I thought that I was special, that other people weren't going through anything else. And this had been co-signed by other treatment centers of, of course you're an addict, you went through this and you went through this. And I was prescribed a lot of medications for it as well, anywhere from opiates to immunosuppressants, steroids. And I just looked at myself as helpless, and that I was powerless, and that I couldn't do anything about this. I was always going to be this way, and went to other places. It was reinforced, kind of that victim mentality where life happens to people, and then I was told I had a disease called addiction, and it just caused even more of a spiral, because then it was like, okay, well now I'm more sick. And those self-destructive behaviors just led to more self-pity, and you don't get better when you're living in self-pity. You don't get better, you don't find your power when you think that life is just happening to you. You make life happen. Elevate was different in every way. When clients come in, granted we have a medical detox, that's for safety reasons. We don't prescribe medications. We don't prescribe psychotropic medications. When someone is experiencing depression or anxiety, we work with that. We figure out, okay, well, where is this coming from? Whereas other places, it was, I feel anxious, and it was, okay, let's prescribe something else. And it was like, well, I'm feeling kind of depressed today. Okay, well, maybe let's try this. By the time I was done with all those other treatment centers, I was on 12 different psychotropic medications at a young age, which was not sustainable in any way whatsoever. I just felt this rush of hope, that it was, I can do this. I've been the one limiting myself. So it doesn't matter what people tell me I can and can't do. It gave me this momentum throughout my program, and that I've carried with me. It's still giving me that sense of empowerment and confidence that I looked for in drugs for over 10 years.
So when we have a third party come in and evaluate us, talk to our clients completely separately from us with no pressure on them to say everything's great, and have that validation from a third party company, completely objective, is extremely valuable to us. So in 2020, when we received this award, we were, it couldn't have meant more to us, and that what we're doing is the right path, that we're really able to help people and, establish recovery.
And what's next for Elevate Addiction Services?
Well, now that we've validated our methods, we've gotten awarded, we know that this thing works, we're really excited to get into, broaden a little bit, get into other areas. And one thing that we really want to do, because we noticed that PTSD, Elevate does a really good job with it. So of course we want to help our veterans.
Right.
And so what we want to do is create an entire program, based around the veterans and their needs, and use the Elevate methods to help them. They sacrifice so much for us, and we want to help them get back on the path.
Right, and it's a very specialized field. The other thing that we realized, especially during the pandemic, is how important mental health is, especially co-occurring with drug addiction. And they kind of need their own facility because it's a slightly different touch. But what we realized through the results, like we were talking about earlier, is just by doing the Elevate program, people who came in with depression and or anxiety in the 60 to 80% left only presenting 3 to 5%. So this gave us confidence and almost like a renewed responsibility. Like, we have to help people in mental health as well. And for me, I've always had a passion for kids too. Like, people get, like myself, I started using at 11 years old. And had I found an Elevate when I was younger, I might not have gone down the path that I went down. So we really want to open up a juvenile center as well, where we can start to help kids before they head down that path where they can't come back from.
And the younger people really love the empowerment idea. These 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they don't like this idea that they're a slave or they're powerless. So when we tell them that, no, you can be powerful, you can do whatever you want, they really love it. So we think a juvenile program would be great.
Yeah.
And you also want to do something with animals.
I have such a passion for animals, and I would love to integrate that in with the veterans, because we've seen huge success with that, with juveniles, and with anybody, because animals are just amazing therapy. And wouldn't it be great if they could come to a place, take care of an animal, and then have that option to sort of leave with that same animal. Now they have to be responsible not just for themselves, but other people too.
Love it. Amazing vision, amazing work. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I'm Kathy Ireland.